saith the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
A soft place to fall. Yeah, a soft place to fall.
Here at A Soft Place to Fall, we are always delighted and encouraged and so happy when we get guests to accept our invitation to come and share what they have found to be their soft place to fall. Today, women in film, entertainment, science, whatever it may be, got the perfect guest who knows everything about it. So stick around. We're going to be talking with Dr. Gisele Haralson and how she found her soft place to fall and how you can find yours too. Right here on A Soft Place to Fall. What a God we have, and how fortunate we are to have Him, the Father of our Master Jesus. Because Jesus was raised from the dead, we've been given a brand new life and everything to live for, including a future in heaven. And the future starts now. God is keeping careful watch over us and the future. The day is coming when you'll have it all, life healed and whole. I know how great that makes you feel, even though you have to put up with every kind of aggravation in the meantime. Pure gold is put in the fire, comes out of it proved pure. Genuine faith put through its suffering comes out proved genuine. When Jesus wraps it all up, it's your faith, not your gold, that God will have on display as evidence of His victory. You never saw Him, yet you love Him. You still don't see Him, yet you trust Him. With laughter and singing because you kept on believing, you'll get what you're looking forward to, total salvation.
A soft place to fall.
Welcome to another incredible edition of A Soft Place to Fall. As I mentioned in the opening, people everywhere are doing amazing things, and we don't hear too much about it because they kind of stay out of the spotlight, I shall say. This particular guest today, I'm so delighted to have joining me for Conversations on the Couch, is doing some incredible things in not only just the entertainment field, but in kingdom building. I am so delighted to welcome to the couch my friend, sister in Christ, Gisele Haralson. Thank you for accepting our invitation. How are you?
I am doing well, and thank you so much for having me.
All right. I always kind of throw a question out to our guests, and sometimes it is ill-received because I'm the only one that can actually answer that question the best. But I always like to know, how do you find yourself here at A Soft Place to Fall? Got her.
What, through hard work, determination, and faith.
Mm-hmm.
That is the driver of my existence, of my space, faith, and just believing in myself, and believing that I operate from a higher source, higher being, and it landed me right here.
Right, absolutely. And that was one of the most incredible things that I had the opportunity of meeting you several years ago, and we've kind of done some things. So tell our guests a little bit about you. I always open that platform. Your center stage spotlight on you.
I love it. Well, first of all, I'm a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mother. I am a film producer. I am a writer. I'm a radio personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an activist. And so those things basically compile who I am as an individual. But first and foremost, I'm a child of God. And then secondly, I'm a mother. Mm-hmm. And everything else revolves around that.
Yeah. So that's a lot of hats. tell me, how do you balance all of that? I mean, first of all and foremost, being a writer, a film producer, and all of those things are out there publicly now, and thank God for social media. It does what it does when we use it correctly.
Exactly.
So how do you balance all of those things? I know one of the things that you mentioned, first and foremost, of course, you're a child of God,
Exactly.
and that's the root and the basis of how it all happens.
Exactly.
And then you're a mother. Mother's Day is right around the corner.
I know.
So
You're
how do
very,
you balance all of the incredible
all
things that you have before you?
just basically for the most part, I guess first and foremost is, as a writer, writing for me is therapy. Okay, so I find that place and that space, and it's very therapeutic. It's very calming. It's very relaxing.
It's a soft place to fall.
It is. It is. It is very, very. You're so right about that. And so from that, everything else kind of happens. And so, I have to really take time to work that balance, because as a mother, as an entrepreneur, and as a social activist, because as you know, we've got so many things that's going on in our society right now. Just taking time for myself. And so that's why I spend quite a bit of time in meditation, and in continual prayer, and trying to prioritize projects. And as you know, as a film producer, I take on stories and projects that are near and dear to me. And so then that's how I began to kind of, how do you balance this? Well, as you know, I've just completed a film project, Who Says You Can't? African American Women in Science. The stories of the women that are in this documentary are near and dear to me. And so therefore, it's finding that time and to dedicate to their stories, to this project. And so just kind of balancing it, and it's basically prioritizing.
You said something very impactful that I immediately grasped hold of, self-care, which is one of those things that we all, well, maybe it's just me, fall short in. We're so busy trying to make sure that everybody else around us is taken care of. What do you need? What can I do? How can I help? So how do you do that? How do you pull back and say, you know what? Let me check out on me.
I'm gonna tell you, the last year and a half, 2 years with this pandemic, has really allowed me time to reflect on me and self. So what the pandemic did for me is it allowed me a moment and a time to put the brakes on, but then not really put the brakes on, because I was actually able to do complete 3 projects during that particular time. But it was just I did it in my own time. I was in control of when I would work on it, and when I would, when was not a good time for me to work on it. So, just taking the time out to say, guess what? It's about me, it's about my son, and it's about us.
Yes.
And just really taking the time.
Yes.
And that's what it boils down to, taking the time. The society we live in right now, and friends and family and work and everything else will demand so much of us. But it's literally taking the time and saying that I don't want to say this. I'm not going to be ashamed or feel bad about saying no. I've gotten past that point and stage.
Because in that conversation, I kind of thought that a lot of times we think that we're being selfish when we draw back
Exactly.
and say, hey, hold up, what about me?
Exactly.
What about me?
Exactly.
So when you say you put the brakes on, but you didn't really put them on, so it's kind of like driving a standard, the brake
There
and
you
the
go.
clutch.
There you go. At the same time. At the same time.
Say, yeah, I
Very
picked
true.
up on it. Picked up on it really good.
That is
We're
very
going to
true.
talk a whole lot more in depth, as much as you'd like to, about some of the challenges that you have seen. Because, like you say, you're an activist and you're a mother, you're a woman of God. So there are a lot of things that come at you.
Very
So
true.
what do you do when it gets to be too much? Besides, just pulling back and saying, okay, I'm gonna take care of me first, because I'm sure there's some people that are viewing and say, okay, yeah, right, that sounds really great, but what really happens when the rubber meets the road and you go, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Enough
Yeah.
is enough.
Yeah.
You're right here at a soft place of all. I'm delighted to talk to, and I'm going to call you Dr. Gisele Haralson, and we'll talk about
Yes.
that as well.
Yes, yes.
Right here on a soft place to fall. Are you covered, protected, and prepared? Don't you want to ease your mind by having the confidence that when the time comes, you and your loved ones are protected and insured? It's as easy as picking up the phone and calling licensed life agent Enidra Wells, 225-936-6017. With care and compassion, Enidra will walk you through the entire process of having you and your loved ones covered, protected, and prepared. No exams, most pre-existing diagnoses are covered, no special requirements. So call today, 225-936-6017, and have the assurance of insurance.
A soft place to fall.
We're back here at a soft place to fall, and I'm having the honor and the privilege to talk with Dr. Gisele Haralson, a woman who wears many hats, and you do it so gracefully and so eloquently and with such a spirit of excellence. And we talked a whole lot about all of the things that you do. A lot of times, often, quite often, the enemy throws these fiery darts at you. So what do you do? How do you find that balance where you step back and said, hold up, wait a minute?
Well, as I stated, I do a lot of meditation. I do quite a bit of reading and prayer. Now, for me, and I guess this is kind of how my existence has come to be, I truly, truly utilize writing as a place where I go to when it seems that I'm just faced with a lot. It has always been my safe haven. And so a lot of my writing is research-based. I mean, I've published 3 books. I've written scripts. I'm the writer on the current documentary film that we've just completed. So it's those places that I go to when it seems that the weight of the world is weighing on me. And then, more than anything, I'm telling you, oh my God, my son. Oh my God, I love him. I love that little boy. God has been so good to me in regards to blessing me with this little boy.
Yeah.
And so I go to him and his embrace and mommy, I love you. Those kinds of things. God, it could really, really just, if I feel that everything is weighing on me. And look, what we're dealing with right now with this war and pandemic and this COVID and just being a woman in film in this industry is a lot. But, when he looks at me and says, Mommy, I love you, I'm like, oh boy, I love you too. It makes everything so much easier, so much better, so much easier to cope and deal with. And so that's my place.
This is a perfect transition because most of what we're talking about is going to actually drop, be aired, whatever it is, during Mother's Day. And for you to share that information about what a gift your son is to you and how you can actually run to him. And it's amazing that you feel that way, because a lot of times people just look at kids like, okay, I got to take care of you. But for him to actually step in and say, hey, I got you. I got you. I've met him. He's an amazing kid. He really is an amazing kid.
And he's so very talented.
Yeah. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I love that. I love that. It does.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because one of the things that I did during the pandemic was I have a nonprofit, Child Development Institute, and I was fortunate enough to be able to and so first of all, let me just tell you, Child Development Institute is an organization that I have where we allow young people to utilize the arts as a way to express themselves. So they express themselves through drawings, through music, and through speech, and of course film. Okay, so we had these workshops that we did right before the pandemic hit, and so we took that time or whatever, and so I worked with the youth, the young people, and I talked to them about using words and how important words were, and using drawings and how important that is, and music. We pulled all this together. I brought in a music producer who was actually from Louisiana, but was based in Atlanta, had worked with amazing artists like Usher, J-Lo, Jay-Z. She came in during the pandemic, turned my home office into a music studio, and we dropped a track, Creative Expression. Amazing. And my son, this is his first time being a part of something like this. He was so excited. Yeah. And they have a musical track. And so he said, Mom, I have a product now, And so he is like really a very talented drawing, he behind the cameras, all of those kinds of things, writing. So I'm just molding him. And I don't want to push him off into this industry, but I see him going in this industry.
I see my director, she's in the background just kind of cheering it on, because she too is a mother of a very talented, very gifted young man. Yes. And it is so important, especially with our young men, that we allow them to utilize the gifts and talents that are already embedded within them.
Very true.
And I applaud you and Nidra and mothers everywhere, and fathers too,
yes,
that are doing things to empower and letting our young people discover themselves and be all that they can be.
I love that.
You're working on, I don't know how many, you got one documentary already done, you've done several books and all of these amazing things. But I want to talk about how you and I, and we're going to tread in those waters, if you don't mind, came to meet each other and work together. And one of those, not one of the main vessel that was there was our dear friend, Ms. Joan Forbes.
Yes,
and
yes.
She stepped up to the plate and she introduced us.
Yes,
and
yes,
she has such an amazing spirit, and she's all about where we come from and where we're going. And we talked about, she was actually here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the amazing nurses who came to be. And you were at the forefront of a lot of that.
Yes. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And thank you so much, Karen, for what you did. And so let me just talk about how we came together. Of course, in order to do film, any film projects, you've got to raise money. That it doesn't happen if you don't have money behind it. And so one of the things that we had made the decision to do was to host a fashion show to raise money for the film project. And so I will never forget this. Of course, annually I host this a Celebration of Women event
Yes.
where we
Great
honor,
event.
oh my God, where we honor and recognize the amazing accomplishments of women from a number of different backgrounds. Joan had been invited to that event. We met, and then again we turned around because one of the sponsors of the Celebration of Women was the Louisiana International Film Festival.
Yes.
And so everyone who attended the Celebration of Women would be able to receive golden tickets to attend the film festival. And so Joan was there, and so she went to the festival, and she had always been very vocal about the story of the first black nurses who were hired at the Baton Rouge General. So she connected with me at the festival, talked about it. We ended up running into each other, I want to say in 2016, I think, and she again brought the project back to me again. At that particular moment, I was already working on the documentary, Who Says You Can't? African American Women in Science. I had already had been in Houston filming and working with a retired disabled research scientist who worked at NASA. And we'd already started the whole project. She came to me, she was like, Joan was like, Gisele, you know, I want to tell this story. I was like, you know what? Women in nursing, that's all connected to science. Let's pull them into this. And from that point, we had worked side by side on telling the story of the 3 African American nurses that are still with us,
That's
who were
right.
hired at the Baton Rouge General. And so I thank you so much because you were over, you know, you just directed, facilitated, and made that fashion show an absolute utter success. And from those proceeds, we were able to complete, with some of the proceeds, we were able to complete this documentary.
Yeah.
And so
It was
thank
an
you.
honor. It was an honor for me to work with you all side by side, because one of those nurses, she stands on the firm word. I remember your mama coming in there.
Yeah.
I held you.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit more about future projects that you have. I am just so blessed and so grateful to have you join us right here at the Soft Place to Fall. We're going to be talking more with Dr. Gisele Haralson, and we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bridget Side, and you are watching A Soft Place to Fall, right here with our very own host, Current Feelings. Oh, and don't forget, have a blessed day. God bless you all.
A soft place to fall.
We're back here at A Soft Place to Fall, where Dr. Gisele Haralson and myself are talking about things that have brought us to a point where they were not necessarily labeled as a soft place to fall, but through your writing and your creativity and your son and Ms. Joan and all of these things that you do are actually your scapegoat. They're a cushion that you can fall upon. And you got so much, and just recently I saw where you gained the title of Dr. Gisele.
I received an honorary doctorate degree, and I'm so excited about that. And look, let me say this right here. It's not me. It's a testament of the things that I do. And because we all go through things in life. We really do. And one of the things that I really, truly, want to be remembered by is that individual and that person that really projects the message that anything's possible. You have faith, you believe, hard work is possible. And, I was so shocked and so surprised when I received this. And look, I'm not one of titles. I'm not. But I do recognize from which my blessings come. And that's what it's all about. I do a lot of activism work, and I think out of everything that I do, Kerwin, the work that I do when it comes to the betterment of our people, for the uplifting of women and children. You know, that's what I'm more proud of than anything. And so, yes, it's nice to be referred to as Dr. Haralson. It is. It's really new. But at the end of the day, I'm really, my mind, my mission is giving back, is aiding and assisting individuals to let them know that your dreams or whatever it is that you attain to or aspire to do is possible. And you're a prime example of that, you know? You're a prime example of that. You keep chiseling away at it and it happens. You keep having that faith and it happens. And if you are kind-hearted and if you give to others as you have done when it came to stepping out and saying that, you know what, you guys want to do this fashion show, you want to do this fundraiser, I'm right here first, front and center. And that's exactly what you are. That individuals look back and it's like, I didn't forget that. And then, you know, blessings begin to drop.
Yes.
They just begin to fall. And that's how I maneuver.
And it's amazing that you should say that, because everybody know. When they said fashion, I was like, okay, I'm in. I don't know what it is, but I'm in. And even one of my directors, editors, producers behind the scenes, Adrian, said, I remember you because you were at the forefront of that fashion show.
Right.
But my passion, of course, was the heart of what I saw in you and the reasoning why you wanted to do this. I was like, I'm all in, whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
You have accomplished so much in what most would seem a very short period of time. But you've been at the forefront of a lot of this behind the scenes and working on doing things. And your passion for, like you said, women has always been so inspiring.
Yes.
And I applaud you because especially with, we call them Generation Next. Well, they call them Generation X, we call them Generation Next.
Yes.
Young women that I see you reaching back and helping to push and propel them to that next level.
Yes.
That passion had to be instilled in you long ago.
Very true, very true. You know, look, my father was an entrepreneur. Well, first of all, my mother was an activist, a social. She really delved into social issues. Both of my parents were from Mississippi, migrated to the Midwest. My father, you know, entrepreneur. My mother spent a tremendous amount of time when it came to the empowerment of the African American race.
Mm-hmm.
So giving back to my community and having a compassion for, as many refer to it as the underdog, was something that was instilled in me as a child. And so my dad, the entrepreneur spirit, my mother, the compassion for social issues, is what I think just formed me into who I am right now. And these are the same things that I want to instill in my son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm out there knocking on doors saying, hey, you guys get out there and vote, or, you know, be aware of what's going on and hold your politicians accountable. These are the same things that you hear my son say, well, we got to vote, mama.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these were instilled in me, and I'm hoping that I can pass these same things on to my son, that he'll pick up, and then one day he'll be sitting at a place, a soft place to fall, and he'll be given the same information, saying that his mother inspired him to do great things because my parents was that driving force.
But I can assure you of this one thing. You're not only instilling that in him, but you're instilling it in other people who are watching you. And you would not even imagine how many people you are touching, and they see you, and they're inspired by what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I challenge you because I have a great passion for our young people. Mm-hmm. My passion, of course, is because I'm a black man. is our young black men who are finding difficulties in coming up. And I know that your passion is for young black women.
That's right.
So this is a perfect combination.
It is,
that,
it is.
I
Well, you
think
know,
that-
Karen, let me say this. I have a son. So in that, and within this documentary, Who Says You Can't, African American Women in Science, we have a segment in there where we talk about the next generation of African American scientists. Not African American women scientists, but scientists, because I have a son. So you clearly know I wasn't going to leave him out of this, right? So we have boys and girls that are in here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I get so overwhelmed when, first of all, people like yourself accept the invitation to come and join us here at a soft place to fall, and then to have conversation. Like you say, I've had conversations with you down through the years, but the transparency and the realness that comes out of these conversations is just so rewarding, and I can't thank you enough. But what I'd like for you to do is to share with our viewers, it's your camera, how to
great.
get in touch with you, how to follow you, all of the wonderful things that you're doing, how to support you.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need
There you
some
go. I
support.
like that. There you
I'm
go.
gonna give y'all some information on how you can support this too.
Exactly, you better know it. So my name is Gisele Haralson, and you can follow me on social media networks, Instagram, Gisele Haralson, Facebook, Gisele Haralson. My website is www.giseleharalson.com, and so you can always go there and get information about my books and any upcoming projects. And of course, what's first and foremost right now is Who Says You Can't, African American Women in Science. That's where we're at. And so if you want to donate to our continual fundraiser for this documentary, you can always go on there and check out the information. You can also email me at Gisele Haralson, H1 at att.com. So that's Gisele, H1 at att.com.
Can't get any better than that. Spell Gisele for them, because I still go through the E's and the I's.
Okay, so Gisele is Gisele. My last name is Haralson, Haralson. Let me give you the email address again. That is Gisele, H1 at att.net. Gisele, H1 at att.net.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know if I could ever say it enough for being a part of my life and coming here.
I am so pleased to be here today. Sitting here with you is an amazing opportunity, and I say congratulations to you.
Thank you. We're going to be back to wrap things up right here at a soft place to fall. Once again, I want to thank my friend, Dr. Gisele Haralson. We'll be back. Like, comment, and subscribe to what? A Soft Place to Fall with Kerwin Fielding YouTube channel. See you soon.
A soft place to fall.
Well, we've come to one of my most favorite segments in A Soft Place to Fall. It's a chance for me to tattle on someone. You know how it was when you were a kid and you did something you had no business doing, and your siblings would always say, well, I'm gonna tell on you. Same thing, but I'm telling God of the good things that good people are doing. About 2 weeks ago, I'm sitting in my office and I have a large window that faces Government Street. And I happened to turn around and I saw something that kind of surprised me. I saw a young man standing out there in a chef's outfit preparing food. and had a big sign said free meals. This went on for about 2 weeks, and finally I got up enough nerve to go out and see what was really going on. And he explained to me that he worked at a restaurant and he saw all of the food that they were getting rid of and going to waste. And he said, I need to do something about this. So he packed up his vehicle, prepared these meals, drove to one of the areas in town where the homeless normally hang out. And he stood out there and he served these people with such a compassion and such love. So for that, Mr. Baptiste, I'm going to tell God on you. And the reason I tell God on good people doing good things is because I want God to bless them over and over again. So if you have someone you want me to tattle on, you can send me that information at asoftplacetofall@yahoo.com, and I'll tell God on them for you.
A soft place to fall.
Right here at A Soft Place to Fall is the most perfect place where you can find restoration, rejuvenation, and comfort in these very challenging times in life. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Gisele Haralson, for sharing with us how she found her soft place to fall amidst all of the things that she's doing and all of the things that are going to happen for her. I encourage you, as I always do, to keep pressing toward the mark of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. Saints of God, doesn't matter how many mountains you successfully climb, how many goals you successfully achieve, how many initials you have earned at the back of your name. I added that for your convenience. Only what you do for Christ will last. Find your soft place to fall.
A soft place to
I got the feeling.
fall.
Okay.
To fall.